Now you've got your skein, it's untwisted, and now you're going to wrap it from the skein onto a ball using your handy ball winder. Now I flipped a chair over here because, well, experience tells me this will work better. I've identified the end of the skein. I've also identified the other wrappings that I'm going to need to snip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drape this over the legs of the chair. I'm going to take my little scissors here. These are the ones that are not the ends, these are just the ones that are binding the skein together. I don't even need to snip those, they're just going to unwrap. Isn't that nice? There's 3 of these. This one's going to get snipped. Make sure you know what you're snipping. You don't want to be snipping your skein. There's the third one that's binding. Tuck those over there. Now this last one here is the one that we identified that is actually the skein ends. So these have been wrapped around to hold the skein and also identify the end. I'm going to snip these. Don't lose those ends. Take one, that's the end, that's where I'm going to start. And just make sure the other one isn't binding it up. Now, we'll take this end, thread it through my ball winder, hook it over the top of the cone part. Now, this is tricky to do with one person. This is where if you have a spouse who's not holding a video camera, you can do this a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tension on this and start winding. And while I'm winding, I'm going to feed off of my skein. All the while, I'm keeping tension on that ball winder. It's good to have a nice tight ball of yarn rather than a loose sloppy one. You want to make sure that while you're doing this, you're not pulling off multiple loops of the skein. Things can get really messy when that happens. So don't try to be in a hurry. So when you get to that part where it's sticky, just shake it a little, let it work its way through. Remember to keep tension while winding the ball. Just keep going like this. Train your spouse to do this, even better. Or ideally, if you've got an umbrella swift, that's your best bet. Slow and steady. We're almost done here. This is where it either gets easy or all those mistakes you've been pushing to the end have migrated through. You still have to be careful doing this. But if you're nice and slow and steady, remember to keep the tension on the ball. So you've got a nice pretty ball of yarn over here. Coming to the end, just let it run off, and there we go. There's your skein wrapped onto a ball, ready for use. This end on the top here, that's important. Hold on to that, because that's the end that you're going to pull from. Grab it underneath with your fingers, push with the top. Pull your end out. There you've got a ball. Take this other end that you're wrapping around, and there's your skein of yarn, now in a handy ball. Ta-da!